Hey everyone, how you doing? So, you know, recently, as of yesterday, I saw a video that sort of put this on my heart. And the video I saw was about a woman named Egypt Sherrod, and I guess she's on the Home and Gardening TV channel. And what she did was she had exposed a trafficking attempt. Um, I guess she was at a gas station and she saw some things that sort of, made her spidey senses go off in such a way. And it made me think about something that happened. Actually, it will be 20 years ago. And something I saw, but I should have reported it, but I didn't. But the main reason why I didn't was because at that moment, no one was injured. There was no harm, no foul. But I should have still said something, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So I was living in the suburbs of Chicago, and my brothers and we were taking the train from Chicago back to the far south suburbs. And I think the stop was Madison, Illinois, or something like that. It's been so long ago, I don't recall. But the main thing was, it was a stop, and basically the way the train runs is it goes to so many stops, and then it turns around at the last stop and goes back to Chicago, making the same stops. And we were on the second to the last stop, and so we get off the train, and all of a sudden, I just feel really ill. I get really like just my stomach starts gurgling, and I'm thinking, oh. And it was so bad that we got off the platform, um, I just had to sit down. And so I just sat on these steps and I told my brothers, I'm not able to make it to the car. I need to sit here for a minute. So I asked, well, one of you stay and one of you go get the car. Well, as they go and the crowd is dispersing, everyone's going to their cars and whatnot. Um, there's a scene playing in front of me and my brother where it was a beautiful young black woman and a Latino man. And so they're talking to each other, and basically, because, everyone else had left, I wasn't eavesdropping. It's just what was unfolding in front of me. The man was saying, oh, I missed my stop. I should have got off at the last stop instead of this one. And I don't know what to do. Do you live around here? And she's like, yeah. And so basically she told him, well, the train is going to come back around. And back then, on the weekends, you paid $5 and you had unlimited access to the train. And so the woman was explaining this to him, but then he was acting like he didn't understand. He's like, but my friends are at the last stop. Will they know to wait for me? I don't know what to do. And so she's like, well, all I can tell you is get on the train when it comes back. Woo, woo, woo. Well, as the scene is unfolding in front of me, my other brother, he was the first to the car. He just ran. And, he's pretty athletic. He actually looked like Charles Barkley back in the day. He still kind of does. But anyway, he's the first to get to his car, and he gets to the gate and he pays his money to get out of the parking lot, and the gate won't open. And so, I think it was like a quarter, so he put, other change because I could kind of see him from across the way what he was doing. And the gate wasn't opening. And so there were two gates, and since he was right at the gate, he had to wait for everyone to back out and go through the open gate before he could come. Meanwhile, this man and woman are still talking, and the man is playing real dumb. Like, I have no idea what you're talking about, lady. Like, he was very polite and he was all like, oh, I'm so lost, help me. And so finally, I'm just looking like, what doesn't this man understand? Why is he doing this? And so finally she's like, look, I done told you what you need to do. And if you don't understand that, I don't know what to do for you. So she leaves and goes off, I guess, to her car. Maybe she lived in the apartment building nearby. But anyway, she walks away. As soon as she walks away, the gate where my brother was opens up and he's able to pull out of the parking lot. And as he's, driving towards us, there happened to be a van. And the van was parked probably about 50 feet away from us along the curb. And it had been there the whole time. Like since we had got off the train, the van was there. And as soon as the girl walks away, the van pulls up and picks this man up. And my brother and I, both our heads snapped and we looked at each other like, oh shit. They was gonna get that girl. Well, anyway, the van pulls off and we actually had plenty of time. We could have got like the plate number, the description of the van, at least the description of the driver and the man who had been talking to the woman. And the van was actually, there was several men, like at least four men in that van. And they get, he gets in the van and they take off. Well, my brother pulls up and we're able to get into the car, and I'm still feeling not so well. But the thing was, when I heard this, and it's something like every time I hear about people being trafficked or, attempts to kidnap women off the street, I think about this and I wish I had turned this van in. But, the thing is, this what I'm talking to you all about is twofold. One is always be aware of what's going on. Even if someone is like being friendly and stuff, you kind of got to ask yourself, okay, why is this person trying to keep me this way, over this way? Everybody else is going, why am I the only one still here with this person? Why is that van sitting over there? That's not a parking spot. And then on my side of things, I should have been like, oh snap. When we realized they were trying to kidnap that woman, we should have, gotten the plate number and stuff out the van. I mean, I always carry pencil and paper with me, and I should have done that, but I didn't think. So, we need to instill that in ourselves before it happens, you know, because I'm going to tell you, I mean, this has happened to me before. I remember even as a little child, something like this happened. And my mom and I had went to a circus. And I was a little girl, and this was like in the 70s. And I was probably about 4 years old, maybe. I don't know, maybe three. And my mom took me to the circus as a treat, and dad was at work. And so the circus, it happened like early evening, like it was light when we went in, and when we got out, it was kind of dark. And my mom had already called for a taxi cab to come pick us up. It was kind of like out in the boonies, out in the countryside. And this woman happened to see us, and she walks up, and my mom, when she was youthful, she's still beautiful, but back in the day, my mom was gorgeous. She looked like Elizabeth Taylor, had that shape, that Coke bottle shape, and she had this long, dark, we call it Indian hair because we're part Cherokee, but she had long, dark hair. Well, actually, it's kind of brownish, reddish, beautiful, beautiful hair. And it went past her butt. And then there was me, and I kind of fashioned this avatar after myself with the curly hair and the almond shaped eyes, woo woo woo. And I kind of looked like a little Filipino girl, like I guess they call it racially ambiguous, but I had a lot of hair. And the woman starts talking about me and asks my mom, "Oh, little girl, does she like horses?" And she was trying to get us in this tent, and there was a horse there. And I was like, "Oh, I can ride a horse." And I was so excited. But then I looked at my mom and I could sense that she was feeling kind of like something was off. So at first I was like, "Ooh, mom, let me ride the horse." But then when I looked at her and saw her do that, I just kind of walked up to her and pressed against her leg. And the lady was like, "Oh, come on, she can ride the horse." And my mom's like, "Well, I already called a taxi. It's on its way." And the lady's like, "Well, you can just get in here." And so the crowd was getting thinner and thinner. And so my mom, she started saying no thank you and she started backing up. Well, this man came out of the tent and started walking towards us. And the next thing I know, my mom grabs me by the arm and the taxi pulls up and she snatches me up and runs towards the taxi and we jump in the taxi. And that was that. And I remember us talking like, wow, that would have been messed up. Dad would have came home, no family. So, this stuff has been happening for years. This story is really as old as time. People getting snatched up. This was even back in the Bible days. People would get snatched up and turned into slaves. And so, you know, you got to be careful out there, ladies. Even the boys, boys, the men need to be careful too because they could be snatched up and put into human trafficking too. Because human trafficking isn't just about the prostitution. Sometimes they'll snatch you up and then put you to work at like a factory or something, and then they'll do something like, I don't know, but they'll make you work and then they'll take your paycheck. Or, they'll have you doing things for them, like I've just heard so many crazy stories, y'all. So just don't think that, especially, someone that's a little chubby like me, you say, "Oh, well, it's hard to kidnap a chubby person." But believe me, they could probably get you. If they see value in you, they will take you, you know. So just be mindful, be careful out there, and hopefully the more awareness we have out there, the safer we'll all be. All right. Well, I'll see y'all next time. And oh, got a text message. I guess that means I need to end this now. All right. Have a good day, everyone. Take care.